Thanks for bringing some sunshine on this very grim post-Labor Day Tuesday.
Yeah, try to bring the sunshine wherever I go.
How was your vacation?
How was what?
How's your vacation?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, we went over to France for kind of a family thing. I've got some family that lives over there. It was awesome.
Oh, sounds like I should have gone with you. So let's talk about Reckless. I know that you've said in the past that this album felt like coming home to you. Why is that?
Well, I had a bit of a break from my last country record, 5 years, when I did another record in between, a record called Everlasting, and toured with that for about 2 years. And so I just had a lot of time to really find the right songs, and when I got in the studio and started making this record, it just felt like coming home. You know, it just felt so familiar and was so much fun to make.
How has and I know you've decided to take up on a lot more songwriting duties in recent years, because I know you've said that you felt more comfortable. How has that changed your approach to music?
You know, songwriting is, for me, first of all, it doesn't come easy to me. So the hardest part is making myself do it and getting in a room and taking the time to do it. So I wrote, there is something though about when you write, I didn't write for many, many years, and all those songs still feel like mine, the ones that I recorded, but there is something about having your thoughts and feelings come out without having to wait for someone else to write what you're thinking or want to sing about. So it's a cool experience, and I didn't write for this record. I really went old school and kind of depended on the amazing songwriters we have in Nashville.
Yeah, you guys have a bevy of riches to choose from over there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What inspired this album? What vibe did you want it to have?
I really just wanted it to be a great collection of songs about real life, and I feel like I got about maybe halfway into the record and making it in the studio, and I started feeling like it sounds familiar. You know, it sounds a little bit like some records that I've done in the past. A record I did called Evolution and Wild Angels and Emotion. But it's still fresh and different, obviously. But I guess it sounds a little bit like 90s country, which I kind of miss. So, so making it making the record, I worked with Dan Huff and Nathan Chapman, two amazing, talented producers and musicians, and we just had a lot of fun.
Now, we had Pharrell here a while ago, and he said that most of his inspiration comes when he's in the shower. So I want to know, where does Martina McBride's inspiration come from? Do you just walk around with an iPhone and kind of jot notes of things that appeal to you, or is it when you're in the studio?
You know, I feel like I try to be open to be inspired by life, by all kinds of different things. But it doesn't really ever come from just one place. Sometimes you're just in a more creative mood than others. And right now I'm putting together a new tour. And so I'm kind of in the dream stage of what that's going to look like and feel like for my fans. And so it's every once in a while. And I do jot it down. Yeah, I'm a big pen and paper kind of gal.
Oh, you're an old school lady. I
Yeah.
love it. So when you're putting together the tour, what goes into it? Because I know, just to bring up the past a little bit, you have 3 girls, and you made the very, I think, laudable decision to reduce touring to be a mom, or to be a parent, I shouldn't say be a mom, which, for those who don't know, musicians make their money by going on tour. That's how you stay afloat.
It helps, yeah. Yeah, well, putting together, I think your question was what goes into putting together a tour. So this new tour that we're doing, we've called it the Love Unleashed Tour. And really the thought process behind it for me was, we are inundated all of the time now, 24/7, with news and disturbing images and disturbing stories. And for me, I just had to step away from it. I'm like, I have still, two of my girls have moved out of the house. They're 18 and 21, but I still have an 11-year-old at home. So it's, for me, and my thought is, how do I protect her from this? And so we just stopped watching as much news. We started, listening to more music together. We started just spending more time around the dinner table and doing things as a family. And so I thought, I want to create that space for my fans when I go on tour. I want them to be able to come to this show and sort of leave the world outside the door and have this wonderful space where they connect with each other, we connect and pass this positive energy and love back and forth. And at the end of the show, they'll leave feeling stronger and feeling more positive. So I'm just trying to kind of create that vibe and that experience with just every aspect, the song choices, the way it feels when you walk in. Yeah.
So you've performed with Stevie Wonder, you've performed with Clint Black. What's been the most surreal onstage experience for you?
Well, I've had a few, to be honest. But one of them was I got to perform with Pat Benatar. And
That'll do it.
You have to understand, I grew up listening to Pat Benatar, and I would go home from school every day and go to my room and play my Linda Ronstadt records and my Pat Benatar records. And so we did a show called Crossroads a few years ago, and they said, who do you want to sing with? And I'm like, well, Pat Benatar, and she agreed to do it. And first of all, she's so nice, and we have so much in common. She loves to cook, she has daughters, she's just down to earth. And I've sang her songs all my life, so for me, that wasn't as weird as hearing her sing my songs. I thought, wow, I have songs. I have songs, and Pat Benatar knows these songs, and she's singing my songs. It was just a real surreal kind of experience, but it was awesome.
What else? You said you have a few.
Oh, well, I sang with Jimmy Buffett, which was awesome. And I got to make a video with him for a song called Trip Around the Sun. I got to sing with Steven Tyler at CMA Music Fest just a few weeks ago, and that was amazing. So yeah, I mean, got to sing on stage with Reba. I've got to sing with George Strait on stage, so it's a blessed life.
Man, I have done none of those things, so I'm very impressed. Do you get nervous when you're about to go on stage with Jimmy Buffett or George Strait?
Sometimes I do. I get a little, I have a sort of a moment before every show when I think, what am I doing? Like, I'm supposed to go out there and be entertaining for like an hour and a half. And these people have paid money. What am I doing? Like, and then I walk out on stage, and that kind of all goes away within the first, 30 seconds, and I feel that love, and I'm like, oh, that's okay. I know what I'm doing. So,
what are your pre-show rituals, if you have any?
Well, I do my own hair and makeup for the tour, so that's kind of my time to relax. Kind of take my time. I put on some music sometimes, and then I pray. I say a prayer and express my gratitude, and then I go on stage.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Do you still get the same reaction when you see all those people in front of you?
Absolutely.
It never gets old?
It never gets old, and it's such a beautiful experience. My goal for every show is to connect with the audience and to share something. It's like, it's not about singing perfectly, because that's never going to happen. We're human beings, but it's about, we are all here together sharing this experience, and then we're making a memory, and nobody can really ever take that away. And it's different every night, and that's the beauty of a live show, I think.
Amen. I wish
Yeah.
more people subscribe to that philosophy, that it's better not to sound 100% perfect all the time, but at least you're giving
Yeah.
of yourself
Yeah,
on stage.
yeah.
So you never get stage fright?
No, I don't get stage fright. Like I said, I feel at home there. I've been singing on stage since I was a little girl. So stage fright isn't really the right term. But I get I get butterflies sometimes. And if I have to sing like the national anthem on live TV, that freaks me out, I'll just be honest. But I'm so honored to do it, but I want to do such a good job. And, it's like, there's no taking it back. Once you start, you're like, it's live television.
You gotta let it rip.
Yeah.
And I know that this is probably like asking you which of your daughters is your favorite, but which song on Reckless do you feel is the closest to you?
That's so hard. I love Reckless, the title track. It's just a song about unconditional love and being grateful for that. And I certainly have that with my husband, so I can relate to that.
Now, what do you want for your next album? Have you thought about it yet?
I haven't given that much thought. I think, I always have wanted to make kind of a stripped down record, kind of a very rootsy, organic. I think we got there with some of these songs. But yeah, I would like to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still enjoying this one. I try not to think too far ahead.
As you should.
Yeah.
Who's your most trusted pair of ears when you have a song to tell you whether it's working or not?
My kids, honestly. I run stuff by them. Songs, what do you think of this song? Or when I start making the record, and as the song evolves and changes, I ask for their input, and they're honest. They are very honest.
They're like, Mom, not so much.
Yeah, I recorded a song on this record called 11 that my girls loved it, and we went to record. They heard the work tape, because it was a song I wrote, and we went to record it, and we actually recorded out of Nashville for the first time. We recorded in Atlanta, and I played it for them over Skype, and they were like, "What did you do to it? That's no good. You have to go back and start over." And I was like, "All right," and they were right. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you though, do your girls have do you hook them up with like meeting their music icons?
I've been able to do that for them a few times. Yeah. My 11-year-old is a huge Ariana Grande fan. So
Mama made that happen.
I made that happen for her. I can't think of who else off the top of my head, but yeah, it's fun when you can do that, for them. I didn't get to meet Ariana, by the way.
You didn't?
No.
So wait, how did this happen if you didn't get to meet her? I figured you'd be like, hey, Ariana, Martina, blah, blah, blah.
No,
Here's my
I had
daughter.
some friends that are on that tour that set up a meet and greet for them as a VIP kind of thing, and no, but Mom had to stay. I wasn't part of the VIP experience, so.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
So at least you've got cool mom points.
Yeah, I got very cool mom points, yeah.
And I know, music aside, I'm so impressed with all the charity work that you do on behalf of domestic violence. So can you talk about that a little bit? And I know you've spoken in the past about how it's so important to you because you have 3 girls, and to teach them what the difference is.
Yeah, and to model a healthy relationship and to teach them. When I went and spoke, I spoke at some schools several years ago about domestic violence, and it was interesting to me that so many, from the questions that I was getting on the Q&A, so many girls know what an unhealthy relationship looks like, but they don't really know what a healthy one looks like. So there's a fabulous website called loveisrespect.com that is about teen dating abuse. So I got involved with them a few years ago, and there's an anonymous hotline for teens can call and get some advice. It's great for parents to look at too, so that they know how to talk to their kids, and it's a good one.
Why was this cause important to you?
Well, it really started when I recorded this song called Independence Day, and I grew up in a really small town of about 200 people, and domestic violence was just never talked about, and I really wasn't aware of the scope of the issue. And when I recorded that song, it just awakened in me this passion to try to make a difference, and for women and children. And then I started getting a lot of letters from people who either used the song for the courage to get out of a relationship, or I don't know, just a lot of letters. And I realized how powerful and how powerful a song can be, and it just made me want to do something.
Well, I love how you totally just kind of downplay it, but it's a really difficult topic, and a lot of people don't go near it. So I really commend you for doing that.
Thank you.
And I saw a quote that it was in some article where you said that you had been to a Q&A, and so many of the young girls, that what they said to you was, well, he's very protective of me. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's trying to, guard me against things. I love that.
Yeah, because possessiveness looks a lot like love to a lot of people, especially to a young girl who's in her maybe first relationship, doesn't really know, and so that's just one of the signs and that's one thing about that website I was talking about, Love is Respect, that they talk about all of the warning signs and things that, like you said, you think, oh, he loves me, he's so protective, and so yeah.
And to go back a little bit to your music, I'm not going to even go through all the awards that you've won because that would probably eat up the rest of our time. But you've won a lot of them, suffice to say. What would the current Martina tell the young one who was starting out and was sitting in her room playing Linda Ronstadt records? Yeah. Records, people, records.
Yes.
That's what we played back in the day.
Yeah. What would I tell the young Martina? I think I would just say, it's the first thing that I think is the best advice is to trust your instincts. In a business where a lot of people are trying to pull you in a lot of directions, and just probably to relax. I think I'm a lot more relaxed now than when I first started out, but just, you go through such a long time of trying to prove yourself, And that's important. It's important at the beginning of a career especially, so that energy is important. But yeah, it's all going to be okay.
How did you learn that self-confidence? Where'd it come from?
I don't know. I mean, I don't always feel self-confident. You know, it varies from day to day. But I think just realizing that I have sort of a passion for a particular thing, and I feel like, you know, singing is kind of what I was put here to do, and I try to make the world a better place with my music, and so there's kind of a confidence that comes from that, I think.
And who was the first person who told you, oh my God, you have a great voice, you should pursue this?
Well, I don't remember a particular person because I started singing when I was about 4 years old, and I did realize that it got a reaction, you know? I mean, you realize that it makes you feel good, it makes people feel good. My parents were always really supportive. They never said, you need a plan B or you need a backup plan. They just believed that if I got in the right place at the right time, I had just as much chance as anybody else. So that was a gift in and of itself.
Were you a big performer growing up? Like, were you a big, you know, ham?
I don't think I was. No, I still struggle with that. You know, performing is harder for me than just singing. And there's an aspect you have to perform when you're on stage. So talking to the audience and all that stuff hasn't always come easy. So yeah, I don't think that I started out that way. I can remember my mom when I was rehearsing, now you need to move around a little bit. You need to smile, you know. So.
And now, obviously, you've mastered it. Did you ever have an alter ego like Beyonce has?
I didn't, no.
Oh, I feel like this would be a great place
Not
to
too
reveal
late.
it. You can always create one. What's been the proudest moment of your career so far?
Wow, the proudest moment of my career. I think probably I won the CMA Female Vocalist of the Year in 1999. And I think it was a proud moment for me because I'd been nominated a few times before, and it's like when you feel like you kind of have earned it, you know what I mean? It's like I won, and so many people work so hard to make what I do look easy. Record company, my crew and band on the road, everybody. And so it was like I was winning it for all of us, if that makes sense. And it just made me I felt like I'd kind of arrived at that. I think people have asked me that question, like, when did you know? And I feel like that might have been.
That was the moment?
Yeah.
So when you go home tonight, well, to your hotel,
Yeah.
what's on your playlist?
I love all kinds of music. So I would have some Adele, probably. I would have Keith Urban, Faith Hill. I would have Aretha, Ray Charles. Yeah, just all kinds of stuff.
Is there anyone left that you'd want to collaborate with?
Well, I would like to collaborate with Aretha, but I feel like I would pass out. So it would be a short collaboration. There'd be her, me, and me hitting the floor.
But man, that would be
awesome.
What song would you want to do?
It would be so
do you think?
intimidating, though, I think. I don't know if I could handle it. She's so amazing. And what song would I do? I don't know. Maybe Chain of Fools.
Oh my God.
I love that one.
Well, in case she's watching, we're putting it out there. You probably have to take the bus to Detroit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. Is there a country song that you absolutely love that you wish you'd written?
I Hope You Dance is one of my favorite songs. I always thought that was such a great song. And Faith has this song that I've always loved called Stronger, that I just love that song. So
You guys have worked together, so
Yeah.
Do you guys have a really tight community in Nashville in the music world?
yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't think it's probably as tight as people think. It's not like we're over at everybody's houses all the time. We're all busy and we work and we have our families to take care of. But yeah, I mean, that's what I love about Nashville, is I feel like it is a community of songwriters, a community of musicians, a community of artists. And it's just, it all happens there, you know? The best thing I ever did was move to Nashville.
You know, everyone who's moved there says that.
Yeah, and everybody's moving there, too.
Well, that's the other
It's
problem,
growing
right?
so fast, yeah.
And before we go to the audience, since you're putting together your tour, what are your must-have things that you always bring on tour with you?
Well, I love good coffee, so I always make sure I have good coffee. A little bit of wine on the bus.
I'd say a lot
yeah?
of wine. It's okay.
And well, used to bring my kids, but like I said, they're all over it now. They're like, we're not coming out on tour with you right now. We're busy living our lives. So I bring my dog. Yeah, I've got a little dog, May.
See, I feel like if I was your 11-year-old, I would totally like want to go on tour and meet all these people.
If you were 11 and I was Ariana Grande, you would want to go on tour with me. If you were my 11-year-old, but and my husband comes with me on tour too because he's my sound engineer live, so that makes it easier too.
Probably keeps it home on the road.
Yeah.
And to our audience, please.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So my question is like 2 questions in one.
Okay.
So where do you see yourself in 10 years, and where do you see country music in 10 years?
Well, I can hope that I'm still doing what I'm doing. I love to do what I do, and I really haven't made a plan B, so I don't know what else I would be doing. And country music, I feel like we're going to get, I don't know, I guess I want to say back to songs that are more lyric-centric and really do express real life for a lot of people. And so I feel like the song, those great songs are going to come back, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Next question, please.
Hi.
Hi.
So I can only imagine your schedule with being a mom, charity, and touring so much. So I was wondering what did you do for fun, when and if you finally have time for yourself?
Yeah, well, I like to eat. So, going out to eat dinner, I don't know, I'm not a big, like, super adventurous kind of person. I have parasailed once. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like to just stay. I'm kind of a homebody. I like to just putter around the house and read and, hang out. Yeah.
And last question, please.
Yes, welcome.
Hi.
And when you're on tour, I'm sure it's not easy. How do you keep up your health and your stamina?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because especially as a singer, your instrument is affected by everything, and especially like your overall health. So I don't know really. There's no real formula that I follow. Sometimes I feel like I'm in good health and I have a lot of stamina, and sometimes I feel not so much. It's just. But I think. So it's just a common sense answer. It's kind of a boring answer, but like just trying to get enough rest and drinking lots and lots and lots of water, and just trying to eat healthy. Just there's no secret to it really.
Do you ever do vocal rest?
No, I don't do vocal rest.
For you.
I mean, maybe I should sometimes, but no, I don't. But I have started warming up before my shows. I never used to do that, but I realize it does really help. So yeah.
And your album is out now. Reckless is out. And
Yes.
tell these guys about your tour, where they can find out the tour dates.
The tour dates are on martinamcbride.com. We've got them all up there through the end of the year. And it's the Love Unleashed tour. We're going to unleash some love on everybody. So I'm excited.
These dark days, we could all use some love.
Yes, right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.